to a little bit of Beastmen wind farming today. We're gonna be tryharding Beastmen so that I can know if they are tournament ready. In theory, I should be able to get 100% win rate. They're a very strong faction. Very few ultra hard counters. There's some bad matchups, but I think a lot of them are far from impossible if you just go for the right builds. So fingers crossed, we'll be good to go. Also, by the way, Warhammer sale on Steam. Everything's on sale. I did a little bit of snooping around. Very hype. I looked at my Fanatical affiliate thing too, the website that has cheaper thingamabobs, but it's only like you only save like $1 on most of the sales. But if you plan on buying a DLC and you don't mind going through the process of getting a key, it will support me slightly. What, I think I get like what, 10% or something, and you will save like $1. It's kind of a pain though to go through the process, so honestly it's fine if you don't. All right, but here we go. Links in the description, by the by. Tournament begins. Generating the bracket. There we go. Over here, announcement tourney, goblins, round 1 exclamation mark. And it appears we're up against Melkor. All right. Yo, I'm Beastmen. And the map is gonna be Creeping Swamp. Pretty chill. Morgar pick when. Missile resist is hype, but like, I don't know. Oh, he's Empire. Oh, hell yeah. Need some practice against Empire. Is he actually good into Empire here? Assuming I can actually kill the cavalry hard, maybe. What Chaos God do you think you most align to? Probably not Nurgle or Khorne. Let's see, Slanesh or Tzeentch. Not that kind of Slanesh. But you know, I like I like just chilling. I like having a good time, you know. Happy life. Overindulgence though. I do have 10,000 hours in Warhammer. I feel like that obsession is definitely there, right? All right. So what we're doing? Get the Slanesh bots. Empire. So Beastmen have a pretty mean rush. Empire, really, they have like, if they really want to win the frontline fight, they're gonna bring great swords, but that's about it. How expensive is Morgar? So paying 1,200, but you get a spawn summon in the backfield, and then a second spawn summon later. Yeah, he's probably not bad here against Empire. Like, realistically, what even kills the man? I'll give him a little test. You do need something to keep Franz off his back, though. Franz the Nader will, or you know, much more popular nowadays, good old Boris. Can get a lot of work done if you're not careful. Overall, though, Empire is pretty jumpy, right? Yeah, they got some pretty spooky cavalry, but nothing an infinite number of Centaurs can't solve. If they do go for Knights of the Black Rose, they should be manageable with like armor-piercing Centaurs. Minotaurs. Korringors are also just a solid option for the late-game Empire annihilation. All right. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Kazrak. Yes, the true counter to Toddy. Does Kazrak have a positive win rate in lore to Toddy? Does he have more victories against him or what? Like, he took his eye. That's pretty big. Ready to see some new unholy Beastmen strats? Honestly, the roster is so small, I don't think there's that much to really delve into. It's going to be mostly vanilla Beastmen strats, I think. Gonna be same old, nothing too crazy. Let's see. Rest of my main army should probably be. Let's see what these guys look like. They're pretty cool, but probably what? 2 of these guys. 1 of these. All right. Seems like a good enough build to me. What's the worst Empire can throw my way? Wait, do I have an answer to war wagons? War wagons? They took out each other's eyes? Oh, okay. Fair is fair then. What do I have against war wagons? Obviously, you know, copious amounts of cavalry is great, but yeah, I need to be able to deal with Mantide and the wagon spam. Both very annoying indeed. Not impossible though. Yeah, this build feels too risky. This build feels just a little too risky against a wagon spamming. I think I gotta be a little bit more careful. If we're going full try-hard Beastmen here, I must play ever so slightly safer and go for something like this instead. This feels a little bit better. Do I even need this guy? I guess I technically don't. I don't need him. Okay, the budget cuts are real for this build. We got some crazy budget cuts, but I think this is far superior. I just need to swap this in over here, and now I have the solution to everything. When's the big tournament? In 24 hours. Freaking out, man. Wait, when did Turn say the tournament was exactly? Gotta make sure I wake up on time. 11 a.m. PT. Wait, no, 10 a.m. PT. 10 a.m. PT too. Okay, that's yeah. It literally it starts at the same time I usually stream. Perfect. Perfect. You guys will all get to watch me get Recarino'd live. Very exciting, isn't it? Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. Alright, so I went for vanilla Mantide start. I think that's the safest thing you can do when playing as Beastmen. And I brought the Terror in reserve. So, Butchers of Kalkengard are in reserve, because he might have a hard counter to them. We have armor-piercing cavalry in reserve, in case he has Knights of the Black Rose or what have you. I have Korngors in reserve to stall him for ages. Oh yeah, no, we're playing the strongest factions tomorrow. Yep, Greenskins, Chaos Dwarves, and Skaven. Yep, only the best. Yeah, that'd be crazy. If the thing is, RTK's been cooking, man. They're changing the meta. They're bringing back Greenskins. Although, Greenskins were in the tournament before too. So like they've been trying to push the Greenskin agenda for a while. We saw Greenskins. We played against them as Warriors of Chaos. The works. But like, greenskins, they never really did too well. We didn't see Tzeentch, but I think Tzeentch is being pushed a little bit harder this time. Behold. The beast tide. Alright, let's just... Alright, so this is going to be a... probably what I'm gonna go for is a ticket victory. We want to get the capture points. And we want to stall because I think a full rush into the Empire backline is a little sus. I think it's yeah, it's just a little too sus for me. But if it does come down to it, I do have spawn summons. So we're ready. Lots of vanguards, butchers, and Gorbel. So Gorbel is specifically if he has like Toddy, and I have to kill some big single entities. If he has like a steam tank or something crazy. But I'm thinking, yeah, we're just gonna capture this and back off. Thankfully, the Vanguard on this map is pretty good. Morgar is going to be great. As a stalling tool, he's just going to hang around the backline for like millennia. So let's see. My opponent has... He actually brings a steam tank? A master engineer on a land ship? Holy crap. Alright, so this is obviously a situation where we do want that Gorbel. He's the only guy that has even a chance at contesting this. And I gotta get the triple cap, and I gotta hold on to that triple cap for ages. Landship does not trade very quickly. So that's pretty good. And the Gorbel isn't meant to actually kill the landship. He's there to keep it modest. The landship with free reign over my units is gonna be a menace. It's gonna cycle charge fools 24/7. It's gonna suck. But with the Gorbel, making sure that I can't just hang out in my back line permanently, I should be okay. We're also going to see if we can get him to overextend a little bit. There's no point playing in his backfield right now. Let's get a few guys in there. No cav, no nothing. Grundle's defenders. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so he's trying to get that capture. I can't really afford to let him steal the point, but I also don't want to just get shot to pieces, so we're just gonna posture. Maybe move into stall, but nothing crazy. Fun fact, he can't kill Morgar. Morgar is fairly safe here because there's no Boris. So that's pretty funny. Here we go. Chariot man coming on in. There you go. Just blast right on through those spears. And we're going to try pushing them back right now. Simple as that. Look at that little chariot dude. He's cooking up a storm. He can Malkoth those Demi Knights very soon. Unfortunately, it looks like he will be able to secure a point. But that's okay. There you go. His landship is kind of distracted too. And the Demi Knights, it looks like they will be getting caught up. Very, very nice. Unfortunately, yeah, there's the capture. Slight misplay on my end, letting that capture go off. But look at my little chariot dude. He's having a great old time. Doom Bull is now activated. Along with these here Centaurs, they should do pretty well. Little chariot guy is doing his best. He's got to get out of there though. It's a little spooky. And then hopefully we can start capturing this point back soon. How's my cav doing? They're doing fine. Big ol' rout on those infantry units over there. Let's get the spears to defend my Ungors. Caster is... God, what a mosh pit. Okay, there we go. My boy's in there. And yeah, as long as these archers aren't shooting, his DPS should be screwed enough where we're mostly fine. Centaurs getting hit by some dirty magics. But the Wonder of the Ages is definitely taking some heat. Let's see here. There you go. And I am starting to recapture the point, thank goodness. And with enough halberds here, it should just be very hard for him to re-secure the point. Wonder of the Ages cannot stand up to such hatred. And we still have a million spears here. Okay. He actually does still hold on to the point, though. Surprising indeed. Value trading wise is decent, at least. And his little Empire Knights here. Let's brace it. Kind of a weak brace, but it looks like it's still applied. They didn't get insta-gibbed. Very nice. And we still have Morgar's spawn summons, which is amazing. Looks like everything's going to plan. Except for that cav charge. It's kind of painful. Interesting. Okay, so we see some Free Company militia getting summoned in now. That's honestly fine for me. A couple of Free Company are not a very big issue. Primarily because I don't think they can actually capture the point very quickly. I should just be able to summon in like a Centaur here, and then we're good. There's the capture point. Glorious. Here comes the Beastmen. And we've done it. We've survived the wonder of the ages. With the power of just killing all his infantry. If you can't kill it, bog it down with infinite numbers of troops. Okay, Free Company shouldn't be able to win against these Centaurs, right? Shouldn't be close. Very lackluster first volley. Then we charge into those Demi Knights to get them killed. Wonder of the Ages is indeed going down. Steam Tank Lord lives, but his lines are in absolute disarray. I got some really good like swapping out of my spears and such. I got some really good spear swapping to keep his cavalry under control. One of the main benefits of having just the ludicrous number of spear infantry here. Very nice. There goes his caster too. Gorble. Man, that reserve Gorble. The reserve Gorble, it works so well. All right. There we go. Let's not over chase. Gotta get those good habits going, right? And then, yeah, I didn't even need to use Morgar. That Wonder of the Age, though. It's still running. It only got 1400 value, though. Like I said, no free reign on this bad boy. Okay, Caster's getting chased off. Leave the spears there in case he summons Cav. So then my Gores have a little bit of support. Another sick Melkoths. And yeah, now it's totally over. Honestly, Landship was kind of underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. The level of whelmed that I was feeling was not especially high. Let's see. Anything we can do here? We can get some charging in with the cavalry. That sounds pretty fun. Hate it when people bring a lot of mass against Skaven. I feel like... oh, hey, Landship said. I feel like if Skaven have enough slows... Alright, if CA ever implement my suggestions and gives them slows, I think Skaven would be happy to face cavalry en masse. Oh, good spear control. Malkor actually stopped that cav charge with them. Gonna need a swoop around just a wee bit. This is definitely still very over though, because his lord's now dying to the Doom Bull. The land ship didn't quite land. Oh my gosh, chat. Literally invisible army at the beginning. Are the Gores invisible? I think the Gores aren't invisible. Yeah, they're not invisible, so he could see the 3 units that I had. Let's see your Gore herd. Yo, didn't even need the butchers either. Very nice. How's my chariot guy doing? That's a pretty good chariot micro at the beginning. In the late game, though, I kind of got lazy and he took a lot of deeps. But there we go. Good charge on them spears. Let's get a, a little Melkoth's action. Oh, okay, note to self. Chariot guy into spears, not the best. You live and you learn, you know? Okay, there you go. His caster's gone. And then the great thing about Morgar is that he has this. Is this an instant? No, it's a 5-second spawn summon. Still gonna be quite good though. Yeah, muck him up. And he's back. Get the value. Let's see here, and yeah, it's pretty over at this point. I gotta get used to not getting comfy though, right? I need to like lock in more. I think I need to like get a habit of that. I don't know where I got the habit of like getting comfy and just like not playing hard and throwing the game. We gotta weed that one out, at least until after the tournament's done. No smooth sailing. Dang, chat with the puns today. GG. A solid start. Let's get this disgusting win-loss out of the way. Reset it back. GG. So, yeah. Steam Tank got a bit of value, but he wasn't getting focus fired by this bad boy who got 3,200 value. That's pretty good. I'll take it. Beastmen versus Empire. Seems like Beastmen have a pretty good time here. Even against the copious number of spear units, it's fine. No Butchers of Kalkengard. Cavalry control is okay. I think I might want to swap some cav, but other than this is a good enough build. Beastmen versus Empire. It's a good enough build. All right. Why was Morgar good here? Well, Morgar didn't really do that much. Morgar's better versus like a mass ranged army. Like this build is here to counter Empire Mantide. I didn't bring any Ungor archers because I didn't want them to get murdered by like spells or like the land chip or what have you. But yeah, Morgar is really good because he can get a free cavalry kill. He's the ultimate in disruption, and in a kind of stalling build like this, where you want to capture all the points, having a free spawn summon and a nigh unkillable lord, he basically says you need something like Boris. You basically need Toddy. Otherwise, he's going to be sitting on a point forever. What makes Kazrak so bad? He's a little expensive. At 1,200, Kazrak's an armor-piercing chariot lord with a hell of a lot of armor and some optional extra defenses. Seems good until you realize that you can get the same thing as a Doom Bull for the same price. It's the same price, and he has Dazed. So we'll do better versus single entities in Kazrak. You put him on a Razorgore chariot so he has decent stats, suddenly he's extremely expensive. Yeah, he just kind of gets outclassed by the Doom Bull. I think if Doom Bulls didn't exist and Toroks didn't exist, maybe you do bring Kazrak. But like, you put this guy on the chariot, there you go, there's your 80 charge bonus armor piercing fighter, but he's also a caster. And he only costs 1,000. So like, you if you want a slightly weaker Kazrak, but they're a spellcaster, like you take the Great Bray Shaman. It's So Khazar kind of gets outclassed by everything. Why have people stopped going toddy? No, people still go toddy. There's a little bit of a meta right now where people are going for extremely cheap Gelt. So hyper cost savings Gelt, he's the cheapest lord you can bring as the Empire. He costs as much as a spearman if you don't count the magic, right? So yeah, he's super duper cheap, which means that he's unsnipeable on foot. It's just not worth to try and kill him because he'll come back in like 2 seconds. And it's a good strat. You just fill up with archers and spears. If you go for Boris, right? Let's say you want to go for Boris. Look at the cost, right? You got to take Crush the Weak. Got to take his healing. So he's at least 2,000. And then somehow, some way, you got to fit in a caster. It says this guy over here, right? Put him on a horse so he can move around and control the battlefield. How many spears do you have to cut? Yeah, you're cutting like... You're getting 6 units of spears for Boris and the Bright Wizard. So you really got to weigh your options. You're going choosing between them. It's not an easy choice, but Boris brings a lot to the table that Gelt doesn't. Same with Burning Head, right? Like, this is way better for leadership breaks, but in matches where leadership doesn't matter as much, where you don't need single entity killing power, or it's already being done by like war wagons, you could take Gelt. Searing Doom is a fine spell to take on him. And you can go ham with whatever you want. You can get like 3 Outriders. Okay, maybe not 3, but yeah. I wonder if CA changed it where you can't resummon your Lord. Because honestly, Lord resummoning is kind of being lightly abused. It's being lightly abused in that people are bringing lords that are meant to die. And yeah, it's a little weird. Now, obviously it'd be a nerf to me because I always lose my lord, but you know, that just shows that I'm not biased here, right? Final Transmutation is good, but is it worth? You're paying an extra 100 gold and Searing Doom already gets you so much value. You take this only if you want to kill single entities, but the whole point is that Gelt's supposed to be cheap. When you played Vampire Coast last time, the last time I played Vampire Coast competitively was like Warhammer 2. That was the last time I ever got any work done with the Coasties. Which lord is meant to die? So take a look at this. Spellweaver on foot. Transformation of Kadan. 600 gold. She dies. You get another 2 uses of Eagle Summons. Although most people just go Flock of Doom because it's even cheaper. But like this lady, it's not even worth trying to kill her. It's a little silly. Drycha is a little bit more expensive, so you can't just YOLO her. But you can get abilities back on her. Yeah. Yeah, going for like the super, I think like a super cheap caster is fine. But when like people are literally just YOLOing them forwards into the enemy lines because it costs like 500 gold, it's you know, and like you don't even want to kill them. Maybe I should bring that up. I'll send a message. Oh, nice. Next round. Hell yeah. Advanced Swiss. We're up against Iceman. Oh, hell yeah. Iceman. Yo, yo. I'm Beastmen. And the map is going to be the glorious Dust Bowl. Ooh, nice big old flat map. Oh, it's a Beastman mirror. Ah, hell yeah. I could use some practice in a Beastman mirror. Let's do it. Can't be that hard, right? Alright, back to sending my message. It's not worth... With the idea that it's not worth the time to kill them. Since they're on foot and only cost 500 gold. Yeah. All right. All right. There you go. Message has been sent just to see what their thoughts are on the issue. So Beastmen versus Beastmen. How do we do this? I think it's time for Cygor. Cygor is not very great here, no. I don't think the Cygor really, I don't think he really cuts it. Mirror matches should be banned. In Turin's tournament, mirror matches can't happen. So I guess that's fine. I guess that means I don't really need to practice this, but I think it's fun. Jabber Slight, get some jibber jabs. It's not the most worth though. Cataract Chariot, it's a win farming stream. We're tryharding today. Let's see here. There's some hilarious strategies I can go for actually. Pick a banner that doesn't look like his. They all look the same, man. I think him going for white and me going for red is the biggest difference we can achieve. All right, I got a strat. You'd appreciate a jibber jab. You want some jabber slight action? Is this thing even good? I know it sucks against high elf archers, but beastmen are not exactly a high elf archer type faction. Let's see here. So what we got? I do think I have a build that that he will not expect. I think I have a pretty funny build. You got a pretty funny build. So then I just go for some of this. And then I just need what? Could take one of these, and then I feel like this build is so close. It's so close. It just needs like that final, just like that final little bit of juice, and then it's set. Razor Boars. Ooh, I love that name. Anyways, they're not that good. They're armor piercing. And into Beastmen, that's not very useful. Like literally, it's just Bestigors that you would want that for. Sure. Oh, hell yeah. Alright. Looking good. Looking very good. Man, I just need the little bit of spice. I just need like a little bit more in this. It's so close. It's so close to glory. Ooh, all right. Yeah, now we're set. Oh boy, all right. Yeah, now we're set. Build is cooking. Build is cooking up a storm today. All right, so then I have that. And then what? Wait a second, is this? Oh, holy crap, that's insane. Okay, wait, no, this is actually... This is actually like a good build. It might actually just be a straight up good build. Let's not get too excited, but... this definitely is on its way to being quite powerful, I'd say. Fairly powerful. All right, Iceman. All right, you know me. We don't stray from the filth. We know the Kislev Frostworm build is a pain in the butt for Beastmen to deal with. So what if I do basically the same thing? Bring the Incarnate Elemental of Beasts and a Jabber Scythe. On one hand, it's a disgusting single entity blob. On the other hand, it's using a lot of units that people usually don't see. So I don't know if this is a win in your books or if this is disgusting, but maybe both. We'll see. Ready? Good luck, have fun. But Beastmen should struggle against this. Perfection. Dude, the Incarnate, and look at this. Devolve. Straight up Devolve AoE. -8 leadership. So -8 leadership. -16 leadership. Terror. And Fear. Which is like another minus, like, I don't know, 16 or something. Jabber Scythe. Mortis Engine. As his leadership declines. And he went for Chariots. It's over. He went for Chariots Malagor. We won. Oh, man. There's literally nothing he can do against this. He brought the worst possible build into this. Literally could not be worse. It's yeah, it's just over. He brought Gore Herd. Oh god, he brought so much anti-infantry, man. He brought so much anti-infantry. Yeah, I'm just gonna go and kill him. Gotta get him killed before he summons in better units, right? So we're just going to there we go. Going to use these guys to just capture the point. Gonna get a an axe thrower over here, why not? Unironic Jabberslay. Okay, he does have Minotaur great weapons, but little does he know they are about to all die. At least I'm pretty sure they are. We'll see. So we're going to get a Traitorkin down. Then we're going to do this. Then we're going to go to the Minotaurs. And then we're going to do that. And then all of those combined means that they should start taking Mortis engine damage, and then they all rout. Jabberslake just deleted their faces. That's pretty hype. And there you go. Minotaurs are about to be terror routed. Glorious. Absolutely glorious. Now we go for the Razorgore herd. There you go. Very, very nice. The boys are doing well. They eat well this day. Razorgores don't stand a chance. Everything's routed. Jabberslake is still farming value. Oh boy. Jeez, man. Oh, the routes. These are fairly elite units too, I remind you. They are no chumps. Absolutely, they can it's supposed to be strong, but they just killed 2 entities off the Butchers of Kalkengard. Brutal. Alright, I'm gonna need some skirmish cav here to defend these guys. And then with all these guys dead, then I think we just start going down the line and killing everything. We already got mega value. Like, look at this guy. 100 kills, 600 value. Holy crap, that Jabberslide got work done. And the great thing is that archers probably wouldn't have been able to do much either. That's the disgusting part. There you go. Don't have the ability back up yet, but it's fine. Oh crap, he actually killed my Centaurs. With a little bit of a smush going on there. Whoopsie daisies. Anyways, he will run out of units soon enough. These single entities have great capture weight. Let's just get in there. I gotta make sure he doesn't just, you know, stall me into infinity, right? We have to still play this game, it seems. It's a good start, though. Routing off so many units at the beginning, though. This is practically a Roomba build. Against his composition? Oh, most definitely. I'm saving up my Traitorkin for when we get a bigger blob fight. That'll be pretty fun. Chariots can't push into these spears. I think we're fine there. We gotta make sure not to throw, though, right? I'm trying to become a better player here. We are trying to better ourselves and not throw this day. Couple spears, who cares? Gets a flock of doom, don't matter. And yeah, he's rapidly running out of units now. The only thing about this build is that it doesn't have healing outside of the butchers, but I don't think that's a particularly large problem. Seems like it's kind of fine as is. He does have some Centaurs here though, so he's trying to recapture some points. But super high DPS is great versus these kind of stalling strats. I almost bought a chariot character, but I figured he might have some like double Gorble of his own. So I decided to opt for my single entities instead. We got the charge over there, very nice. I don't even really have a place to use my magic. We're winning too hard. All right, still though, we gotta make sure we play this one proper. There you go. Big sandwich on those Centaurs. Unfortunately, mine over here get caught. This is a great opportunity for a devolve, which casts very quickly, mind you. Combined with all of the all the single entities here. There's no way their leadership will hold, and there's another capture. Very, very nice. Hit them hard enough and you won't need healing. Oh man, yo, the power trip. Did these minotaurs do anything? 600 value for damaging my lord. Surprisingly not that bad. It's still going to be an uphill battle though. We have our little doom squad here, just killing every infantry unit they make contact with. We're actually fairly close when it comes to tickets, so we're pretty comfy. And these skirmishers are great. I do wonder how his skirmishers would have done, but I think with devolve it would have been actually pretty difficult for them to do much. I might be terribly wrong, but like if I'm spamming normal Centigores into his skirmish Centigores, but he's getting slowed down, it should be pretty bad. All right, kite him up. Get him, giant blob. He gets a flock of doom, but it doesn't do damage to single entities, so we're fine. There we go. Kind of misplaced my Centigores. Got a little bit caught up there. Can I devolve these guys? Maybe I'll just try and devolve them. Yo, this blob though is very fast. I'm noticing. It's very fast, so it can actually get around to the various points and capture them faster than my opponent can steal back points. And every time he keeps losing infantry, so I think this is a legit build. If you ever find yourself in a Beastmen mirror, honestly, Beastmen get hard countered by single entities most of the time. So this is exactly what you gotta do, it seems. Why no Centigores of Tzeentch? Way too expensive. They're more of an armor-piercing option. And Beastmen don't really have that much armor. So like, unless I'm trying to kill Bestigors, be a little rough. All right, there we go. So that's the point captured. And then we now can start moving on in to bully his infantry tide over here. We almost have 2x's value. Very nice. Let's see if I can do a little bit of hot swapping cav charges. Nope. Good micro on his part. Oh boy, he's blobbing though. He's blobbing. What are you doing, man? All right, let's give him the hammer. So there's a ginormous Traderkin, followed by, oh, give it a second. We need a little bit of time here. Come on, group up your cav. Group them up, I dare you. Nah, he doesn't want to group it. All right, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was really hoping for it though, because then I could use the roar. You know, I guess I'll just use it just to rout off his infantry. Without infantry support, he's pretty screwed, right?
You have the foe's victory point.
There you go. He's trying. The thing is, so oh crap, my lord. No. All right, you got me there. You got me there. We can't do that in the grand finals. That's just silly. Okay, but anyways. He's trying to outpace the captures here, but we're literally Beastmen, right? We're literally Beastmen. It's fine. Typical ant. I know. Like it's a mirror. You can't outspeed me. We're the same speed. It's literally the same faction. There you go. Yeah. All right. GG. Huzzah! Second win. Okay, I gotta remember to lock in though. I gotta like proper lock in. Anyways, Jabberscythe got 1,000 value. Incarnate got 900, but their routing capabilities are great. The main DPS dealers though were actually the Butchers of Kalkengard. Interesting. But yeah, them leadership debuffs are brutal. Absolutely positively. Yo, do you think this guy with Lore of Death is better? Doom and Darkness is minus 16 leadership. Honestly, that seems better. That's just better, right? So you do minus 16 Fear and Terror. -8. It's an actual leadership bomb build. 4K value lead suddenly became 3K. Yeah. Yeah. Beastmen mirror. Beastmen wins. Yeah, Devolve has stat debuffs, but if they're running, it doesn't matter if the stats are debuffed. Devolve is better for catching his cavalry, though. The speed difference is pretty huge, actually. So if we did run into a skirmisher tide, I'd probably want this. What's up, Martin? What's up? Oh, I should have taken Bestial Surge. Get that vigor boost on these guys. But yeah, Beastmen are super susceptible to these types of builds. I think not enough players. So like, I wouldn't take these builds if people expect them, obviously. But a lot of players get too comfy being like, you know what? Nobody takes single entities into Beastmen. I don't need single entities. I'm just gonna spam my solid mid-tier infantry. But they don't realize that this is like super, super weak to single entity builds. And I think you gotta be careful. If you're playing as the supposedly better faction, right? You need to at least have like a Gorble or two in reserve, depending on the faction you're facing. You gotta at least have some skirmishers. The rule of thumb is if you lose to a skew build, your build is also not exactly safe. It depends though. There's some situations where like you can't cover all skew builds, but as a faction that's at the advantage, you got to make sure you cover your base against all skew builds. Or hell, there's some fun tech you can do actually when it comes to magic. So you can do some cost saving magic where like you have one caster that's here to kill off those blobs, right? So just take like a foot trader kin dude, and then you have your normal caster that you're going to take with Flock of Doom in every other case. Also very nice way to go about it. That way you can pick and choose your magic based on the situation. It means you can't run Malagor all the time. I think running Malagor all the time is like a little sus, because not everyone's going to be weak to Flock of Doom. Zygors. Dude, Zygors, the warp gaze net is hype. It's only 12 seconds, but if people don't expect it and they charge into them and get counter charge, it's a free win. Zygors are great at throwing. Put perfectly. Exquisite, Felix. Oh my goodness. Oh crap. Son of Heaven and Sven need Swiss points. I'm so sorry, guys. I am so sorry. I forgot to give Swiss points. It's fine. If you get 3 wins, you're probably going to qualify, right? Alright, so Son of Heaven needs an extra Swiss point. And then Sven also needs it. Alright, it's fixed. It's fixed. I'm a terrible tournament host. Yo, Flock of Doom is great. Flock of Doom is a great spell. It's just not going to do well against everything. I think Beastmen do need to have a reserve, like... Honestly, if we're only 500, it's not that hard to have a reserve Traderkin caster. And Traderkin is very close to Final Transmutation. Magic to damage wise, it's you know, basically treat it like Final Transmutation. So yeah. Give Cygors a throwing axe. Just one throwing axe. Now we're gonna have to be careful though, right? We can't die to these skew builds. But let's see. I think the best way to deal with them is usually to have a lot of ranged and nets. Beastmen don't have a ton of that. So you probably want to like try to duel them. So if you want to beat a single entity blob, you need to go for a slightly smaller single entity blob with range support. So like some Centaurs, or even even not even that. You go for Ungor Raiders, because if you have a single entity blob to countercharge them when they dive your Ungors, then you're sitting pretty comfortable. So like you can even leave them in reserve, just play super safe. Probably just start with only one. And then like, let's say you want to take Traderkin because you fancy the spell. It's a little risky because it's not good versus other builds. But you could do something like this. And then run. Have a Blood Brute Behemoth in reserve. There you go. That's I think we figured it out. Just have a whole Blood Brute Behemoth. What's a Jibber Jab supposed to do against that? Easy peasy. Let's be real. You're just summoning in Cygors and or Centaurs and desummoning them anyways, right? You don't need the extra 2,500 in reserve. I think it's fine. For someone that likes a Changeling, what kind of army compositions would you suggest? If you saw my Changeling build versus Ogre Kingdoms, that might give you some inspiration. The Sisters of Twilight are a really good transformation for the Changeling. Army composition wise though is pretty standard. Although Sisters of Twilight do combo well with Changebringers if you want to be fancy. Let's see, there were a couple decent options, but I think Sisters of Twilight are the best. Can you get poison on your Ungors with Khazrak in multiplayer? No, a lot of the campaign buffs don't carry over. Khazrak's pretty vanilla actually when it comes to his multiplayer incarnation. If you do want poison though, Pestigors. I guess the Destroyers of the Drakewald have poison. The Jabberslight has poison. Your Poison Doggos have poison. Does this have poison? Hey, Cockatrice has poison. Hell yeah. Overconfidence is the ruin of this man. Yo, for the tournament, it's gonna be so sweaty, okay? Today, I'm looking at chat. Tournament day, I shouldn't even look at chat. Shouldn't even pay attention to chat. I look at chat, I'm not looking at the battle, we lose. Can't have that happen. Campaign gives out poison attack like candy. I know. It's fun, but also it makes this spell so useless. Who in campaign is like, wow, bless poison on Skaven? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. I can't wait. I can't wait to give him a 15% damage reduction for 30 seconds. So tight. Definitely did not already have poison on like all my units. Okay. Some builds don't have poison though. Yeah, what if you do that on your Jezzails? What if you throw that spell down on your Jezzails, right? And now you have Jezzails with poison. You can cast it on, yeah, you can cast it on your Night Runners. It turns your gutter, it's like a free 50 gold when you cast it on your Gutter Runners. Because it gives them poison. You can throw it on your Night Runners. Give them poison. Legitimately, actually not that bad, all things considered. Actually, technically Plague Monks don't give poison. I guess Skaven don't have that much poison, do they? It's still a bad spell, but yeah, I guess they don't have much poison in multiplayer outside of the Doggos, Brood Horror. Maybe it is good. Yeah, you can cast it on your Globadiers. Cast it on your Slingers. Cast it on everything. It's 4 winds of magic. What's the overcast? You know, I stand corrected. I can say when I'm wrong. Look at that. You can even make it last 44 seconds. Crazy. I think if Skaven get more slows, you could totally use that against cavalry. Because the 15% on top of another slow reduction is pretty high. The net bait on night runners. Wait, no, it's the gutter runners that have the net. They have snare net. So if you combine that with poison, but then you might as well just get normal gutter runners with poison. Yeah, they have a 10% speed reduction on top of a 15% speed reduction. So 25% reduced, which helps them keep away from cavalry. It's fine, you know. It's a good one. Are these guys ever worth it though? They're quite expensive. Bonjour. If you place a banner that gives fire damage on a unit that already has poison damage, does do both now? I think I don't know. Last I checked, these extra ability things couldn't stack very high. I think like what, you can have a maximum of 2 and then they start overriding each other. It doesn't really crop up in multiplayer, so I don't know. Skaven slow build, legit. I feel like if some of these abilities were just slightly better. Where is it at? Yeah, I feel like Brittle Bone. If you cast Brittle Bone on a unit of cavalry, they lose 25% speed. And then while they're chasing your gutter runners, they lose another 25% speed. So it's a 50% speed reduction for 40 seconds. Ignore the price. Ignore the price of Brittle Bone. Ignore the fact that it costs as much as Burning Head. And then, you know. And then you countercharge them with the doggos. At 50% speed reduction, rat ogres can catch the cavalry. So all you gotta do is bait them into chasing your gutter runners with poison. Yeah, it also yeah, it gives a vigor drain. Honest, if this spell was meta, like if it was actually good enough to be viable, it would legitimately help Skaven so much against cavalry. Just make it a little bit cheaper or whatever. Like Skaven, they really suffer versus those speedy cav units that they can never catch. Oh hell yeah, Toxic Rain too. It's minus 60% speed. I think there's legitimately something almost here. It's God, it's expensive. And when Warp Lightning already like 2 shots most blobbed cavalry, like what are you doing? What are you doing with your life, you know? Don't tell me we're rat theory crafting now. You know, if Skaven get buffed, I've been asking CA to make Skaven have something versus cavalry for a little bit. Doesn't mean they're gonna implement it, but you never know. His Shark's not playing today. He might not be. A rare Charix MIA? What even is this? What even is this? Did he get bored of winning all my tournaments? Is he resting up before the big day tomorrow? What's he doing? Let's just hope he's so out of practice by having the 1 day off that we wreck his face tomorrow. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I still have to beat Oishi-kun, but Oishi-kun hasn't been playing that many tournaments. We've been on a hella grind. Okay, so I'm Beastmen against Wood Elves. The map is the Blood Grove. Good Vanguard map. But both of these are Vanguard factions, so We'll have to see how this pans out. He's hiding his best builds. Imagine he's just in theory crafting a bunch of counter builds. I don't even know if he's worried about facing me specifically, though. I think he might be worried about everybody else. For me, Charix, he's in the bottom bracket, so he's opposite me. We'd only ever meet in the finals, and I think he's the most likely to win. Either that or Egg Special, but Egg Special hasn't been playing a lot. Or Sipa, actually. Top bracket wise, I think me and Oishi is gonna be a battle of the ages, followed by a best of 5 against Tim the Wilder or Boss Toss. It's all terrifying. It's all terrifying. Or I think Tim the Wilder might have beat Boss Toss. Hey, Serwin TV, thank you for the 2 months. Berserk is not attending now, so you don't have to worry about Berserk. There's some big names, but I feel like I got a decent shot. Did I save my Beastmen? Beastmen versus Wood Elves, maybe is what I called it. Okay. I don't think there's a Wood Elf build that will delete me by any means. Okay, yeah. What is this build? What even is this build? Oh god. No, seriously, what is this build? This is a janky build. What is this? I don't like this at all. I'm changing it up. Had harpies in the main army? Am I insane? Okay, so the big thing is making sure that you don't give them targets to skirmish to death. Very, very likely that my opponent will be doing that. The other thing that you gotta make sure, you don't die to the air game. Wood Elves have a mean air game, so you gotta have at least a couple flyers in your build. You already won once, don't need to try that hard. Just retire after 1 tournament win. Yo, it's feeling like I have a chance. That makes you wanna go hard at it. I feel like I have a decent chance, so yeah. My goal though is to at least make it to Turin stream. If I can play a best of 5 on Turin stream and not get dumpstered, I'm pretty happy. So Wood Elves don't have a fast single entity blob that I know of. Hey Decay, thank you very much for the Danish krona. Cockatrice.
Cockatrice, winking face emoji.
Alright. I'll take it. But for you? For the kroner? I'll take a cockatrice. Let's see. How's this build looking? Okay, yeah, I think this is a way better build, except for the cockatrice. Except for that. Other than that, though, we're fine. So the big thing, big trees, tree men, they suck. Thankfully, shooting their own flesh and bones at them kind of works. I also have minotaurs. It'll be great. Don't, man, it was a joke. It's in reserve. It's in reserve. I'll bring it out if I find a good situation for it. Technically, it's a source of terror and it can net down his cavalry. Free net is hilarious. Okay, so first things first, capture this point. And then we play a little bit of a risky game. So depending on how he deploys, we might be in the battle immediately. Which means I should probably just set up for the insta-flank. So best case scenario, he's severely out of position and then we win. Worst case scenario, I'm severely out of position and he wins. Is this a risky position? Honestly, not that much. We're pretty maneuverable, right? And if he plays backfield, I can just dodge, right? That's not the biggest deal in the world. All right, here we go. Okay, he's played backfield. Terrifying. Ah, jeez. All right. Whoa there. Oh, jeez. We're being shot up. And for what? To stall him a little bit? All right, that was a bad play. What is a good play though is a free overcast final transportation. I mean, Flock of Doom on his Wild Riders. So he wants to snipe Malagor. That makes sense. It's a Sisters of Twilight build. If I play around this point though and we just keep the double cap, it's a decent situation for us. These are also Dryads. They get bullied pretty hard. I have a lot of units here. Hopefully he shoots right before I make contact with the Dryads and he friendly fires. That would be the best case scenario. A little bit of friendly fire. Not the most in the world though. Not the most. Can I just full push him though? This was a pretty good initial charge. So this is a Twilight, can't really participate much either. Another great Flock of Doom. We're going to get some Harpies. Some Spears. This is kind of a bad situation though. I'm kind of being way too aggressive when it comes to this fight. You can tell because we just lost our 2 cav units. I needed my spears to get in there. The spears will be great as soon as they can jump his range, but I kind of let him summon in a lot of cavalry too. It's a little bit of an awkward position. You must play it very, very careful. Use the spears here, get some rear charges, use the Harpies to stop up his cavalry. That works. Okay, there we go. Yeah, more spears. There we go. More spears for days. We've already got some pretty decent routes at least. That's good. Have a little bit of a cav charge in here. I gotta make sure I don't run out of units, but if he's spamming mostly cavalry, it should be fine. That should be decent. There we go. Killed off his Wild Riders too. And then, yeah, I think he just took way too many range units, right? Let's see, a little bit of micro over here. A little bit of pullback micro will go a long way. Malagor is doing fine. Eternal Guard can just get shot off. They're not a big problem. And I think we do bring in the Tuskor Chariot now. Yeah, I think we're fine. I kind of made a little bit of a riskier play this day. But the mix of the Sisters of Twilight and everything means that we were probably safe regardless. Seems like it was so. His archers are very nearly completely shut down. And remember, my Centaur is just like up trade like crazy here. So now he's stuck. He has to either summon in infantry that can't really get around much, or cavalry that will die to my spears. Such is the trading advantage. I don't need to hit them. I'll save it for the cav. There we go. Also, this is a pretty good matchup for Beastmen, as we learned previously. That's also pretty nice. Where's Malagor at? Oh, she's really stuck in there. Okay. What are those? Just Glade Riders? Okay. Yeah, let's not waste our magic on a couple Glade Riders. Not a bunch of filthy Glade Riders. That's not very worth. And instead, we're just going to keep summoning in our cavalry. Unfortunately, my chariots are kind of getting bullied. But we almost caught them skirmishers. Almost. Just give it a hot second. Cavalry spam resummons are doing great. They're barely getting any value here. It's fine. Okay, he's basically army wiped. I don't know why value trading says that it's still close. I think that's very incorrect, but what do I know? We got him to the edge of the map, though. That's pretty funny. Malagor is still not taking that much damage either. I guess it's is all the value on the Sisters of Twilight or something? I don't know. All right, we gotta not get overconfident though. Overconfidence is death. Get in there, you darn cavalry. They're doing the best. They're almost in. Big charge on the spears. Hell yeah. Then a big old Flock of Doom. Huzzah. Let's see. He still hasn't captured the back points. Yeah, I'm just gonna spam pure cavalry. He's straight up in the corner, jammed as far back as possible, desperately trying to keep these guys alive. This map ain't big enough for the two of us. There you go. And then we just give him the grind. The Ungor march continues. He will fall eventually. He did a good job keeping them alive as long as he did, though, considering I was kind of pile driving him. Just going for that full rush. In the end, the Sisters of Twilight did not really get that much value. A lot of it was wasted shooting Malagor. He went for a kite build into a rush build, essentially. Disqualified for corner camping. Oh man, yeah, the Warhammer 2 corner camping shenanigans. Good times, good times. All that. Little Glade Rider squad. Yo, Beastmen just win because Centaurs. Centaurs uptrade so hard into all the Elven cavalry. What is a man even supposed to do? What is a Wood Elf supposed to do against us? And I just keep summoning in Centaurs. Like, screw the rest of these summons. All I need in life is more Centaurs. More Centaurs for life. There you go. There goes his caster. Huzzah! Another ginormous Flock of Doom. And it's just the Sisters of Twilight now. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, so it turns out you can't really go for skirmishers as Wood Elves, right? You're just way too prone to dying to Centaur rushes. Huh? He's still playing it though. He's still going for it. He has one Dryad and one Wild Rider to his name. Honestly, I stick around battles a lot longer than I should do. It's fine. I say should, not in like the mean-spirited like he should leave, but like you never know. I do Lord Thor pretty hard, but yes. And sometimes you just, you know, chilling, just having fun microing. But that was extraordinarily one-sided. It turns out Deepwood Scouts, they did get their value. They did get their value. It's just the Wild Rider sucks so hard into Beastmen. Wild Rider sucks so hard into Beastmen. Are you kidding me? Look at these guys. Wild Hunters of Kurnos. 86 gold value. Amazing. Yeah. All right. So I think that's just the deal breaker. Elven Cavalry. Big suck. Beastmen Cavalry. Amazing. Spears. Did great. I wonder how decked out his caster was, too. His army felt really small. He might have... You know, if he took the Sisters of Twilight healing ability, too, it actually would have contributed a lot to that smaller army. I should double check. That's my hunch. But we must see. Oh, you can just check like this. No, so he only had Flock of Doom on her. Are these Deepwood Scouts... Are the Swift Shiver Shards that expensive? They cost as much as War Wagons. So that's a default ability. He had Conjoined Destiny, but like nothing else, right? Yeah, so I guess it's just that expensive. Dude, why are these guys so expensive, man? You do this with Empire, you can like stack it up with spears. Dang, yeah, they're just pricey. Okay. Good to know. Yeah, they cost $850 each. He only bought 4. He didn't even bring 5. Dang. All right, well, that's unfortunate. I guess Wood Elf Cavalry's just expensive. Yeah, Beastmen can be very spooky versus Elves. I think Beastmen Cavalry will do well to most every Elven unit. Yeah, how's the leaderboard? Am I still number 1 or is Charix ahead? Okay, we're tied at 10 tournament wins each. Here's the thing though, in terms of the actual like tournament, it doesn't matter that much who's first place and who's second, as long as you're on opposite ends of the bracket. It's pretty hype though. It means that the next turn grand finals is going to be me versus Charix in separate brackets again. It's pretty hype. If you put perfect vigor on a crap unit, it's still pretty crap. I guess. Still nice though. It's still pretty nice. Yo, I would not object to playing a game where my goblins have perfect vigor. In fact, perfect vigor on a crap unit could be way more impactful than you think because of leadership. Let's do a quick test. Take a look at these Gobbo spears versus Empire spears. Let's see just how much vigor plays a part in their fighting, because leadership drops pretty quickly. Perfect vigor greases. He won't route as much, I guess. He's still pretty garbage, though. Perfect vigor greases is pretty down there. All right, let's take a look. See, Vigor. You kidding me? Oh, faster and stronger. Okay, I thought they were tired just from walking. All right, let's see. Get the wall. Damage sustained. Doesn't matter just yet. At what point does vigor start mattering? Dang, okay. Oh, wait, no. There you go. Vigor is starting to get lower. Doesn't affect leadership just yet, though. Tired is applying there. There you go. Very tired. So very tired is a -2 leadership. Actually doesn't play that much of a part. It's bigger on this. But yeah, I guess these hyper cheap units, perfect vigor, actually wouldn't make that much of a difference. Aside from stats, like 5 melee attack, 3 melee defense is actually pretty impactful. Like the damage just goes down to nothing when they're tired. But yeah, I guess you're right. Never mind. Yeah, -2 is not actually that much. Who would have guessed? I thought vigor was way more important. It's mostly applies to melee stats. Can't forget the armor they lose for some reason. Yep. All right. Here we go. What? 2 more matches. Gobbo spears suck. They really do. Compared to Empire spears. What are we looking at? So you're paying 25 gold. You lose expendable. You lose HP, but you get 10 leadership, 14 melee defense, extra weapon strength, way more bonus versus large. These guys are actually almost OP. The only reason they're not OP is because the rest of the Empire roster is pretty standard. Most factions are allowed 1 OP unit, is the general rule of thumb. Like, let's see, you go to like Norska, right? Norse is kind of weird. They don't really have a huge overperformer, but everything's just kind of good. But let's say like Nurgle, right? You get your Angels of Decay. There's 1,700 gold of just raw goodness. You have Beastmen, Centaurs, right? 800 gold, very strong cavalry. What's a dwarf OP unit? Well, that's why they're not good. Let's see here. Yeah, not dwarves. Technically, I would say the Longbeard. I stand by the idea that almost every faction in the game would run Longbeards if they had access to them. The problem is they're really slow. Like, that's a huge weakness, 26 speed. But, like, Longbeards, compare them to, let's see here. Warriors of Chaos, right? You have Longbeards, and then you have Chaos Warriors, right? Longbeards are 48 melee defense, +5 leadership, ITP, spell resist, encourage, charge defense versus large. Holy moly, man. Holy. Okay, yeah, they're a little bit less damaging. But, geez Louise. The whole encourage ITP spell resist is insane. For a cheaper price. Bonkers. Thank you, old grumblers. Yeah. They're pretty good. Saw the Slayer only army stack today. Yeah, the whole instinctual keeping my lord alive. The one time my lord lives, it's a Slayer only army. I can't believe it. Alrighty. So much management. Yeah, I set a bunch of tournaments up in advance for next week. Whole week's worth of tournaments for my own convenience and to make sure people have time to sign up, since that's a thing. But then I'm running into the issue where like other people want to host tournaments, which is fine. The solution is I will just scoot my tournaments over. I'm happy to not host, honestly. I actually kind of prefer it if other people host. DLC is probably gonna be August. Don't say that. Don't say that. No. Please, no. Didn't they say late summer? Did they? I haven't been keeping up with the news. Come on, it's gotta be this month. It's gotta be. Come on. You're betting late July? I was hoping mid-July. I was hoping tomorrow, man. Come on. Just give us a DLC, please. We'll be lucky if it's August. Dude, you tell me we're gonna get one DLC? One DLC a year? Not like this. Okay, nah, it'd probably be like what? DLC here, and then like DLC Christmas. No good. Late summer, so mid-September. No way. No way, man. No way. Impossible. Ugh. October. Everyone's actually talking about next year, not this year. October next year. That's the next DLC. Maybe it's because they're too busy working on Warhammer Total War 40K coming out this year. Tomorrow. They're just gonna cold launch it. Just put it on stream. No advertising. They're not even gonna pretend it exists. It's just going to be there. And people are like, is this, did CA make this? Is this fake? Then they boot it up and it's the full game. All the factions. They're all in there. No DLCs. It's a fully complete package. No jank, no bugs. All right, enough wishful thinking. I wish I had your positive attitude. Oh man, yo. Yeah, I really need it though, man. These DLCs are important for as a content creator. They're kind of important. Helped a lot in Warhammer 2. Now I struggle on my own. I guess we can still make it work. You prefer late, decent DLCs over on-time garbage? Yeah, see, that's what I'm worried about. In my eyes, the sooner the DLC comes out, the sooner they fix it. Based on CA's track record, there's usually going, at least on the multiplayer side, single player side is fine, right? They're doing a lot of work to repair that. But there's always going to be an unbalanced unit that can't be found without a lot of internal stuff. But yeah, thrones of delay. Yeah, I don't know. If it's like, hey, it's going to be hella polished, you know what? Give it to me late, right? I just worry that we're gonna wait a long time and then there'll still be a lot of jank. And then like the updates afterwards, if we keep getting in between updates, like the recent one, it's fine. What I'd be totally fine with is late DLCs and a multiplayer patch in between. Just some gold changes, you know? It can't be that hard, right? Just a couple gold changes. No, I'm giving that as feedback right now. Where's that? Feedback. Let's see here. Multiplayer patches between DLCs. Since DLCs are looking to come out pretty far apart, which is fine. I feel like some multiplayer patches would be great. Multiplayer patches in between would be great. Only gold costs can be changed so that single player is not affected. Is not what is it? Affect is the verb. Effect is the noun, so not affected. So the single player is not affected, which would hopefully mean less work for you guys. At the moment, the meta is good, but the top factions have been around for almost a year now. Thanks for taking this into consideration. All right. All right, we're good. And then yeah, do this, and then we do this. All right. Great success. Whether or not they'll actually be able to do it, we will see. Let's make a multiplayer mod. So mods are sketchy because it's a huge push that you have to go for, and I simply do not have the time to do that. Because like Turn is not going to host a tournament with the mod, right? And the only players that I would trust to make balance changes are people that have a lot of multiplayer experience. But also they have to be like good game developers too. Because you don't want, you know, a balanced game doesn't mean a fun game. Right? It's, yeah. Oh crap, did we go to round 4 without... Whoopsie daisies, I forgot to ping people. Anyways. You know, like, cause... Yeah, it's gotta be balanced, but it also has to shake up the meta. And it has to be unbiased and all that pain and suffering. Adminning 1 second. Okay, got my opponent. He's in. I'm Beastmen. Is he Lizardmen? Oh god. But yeah, it's very hard to be unbiased. So it's rough. It's a little rough. Like we've seen people try and do the fruit rolls. It's a pain in the butt. Even with StarCraft, they try taking input from players. Close that one down. I don't think it's a system that works super well. I think you actually just need to have like the company with game designers doing their best. The thing is though, right, they still take a lot of feedback from me and I'm biased, so it's not like we currently have a great solution either. Regardless, doing a mod would be so much work. I think it's much better to just have a very well formatted change to you know, adjustments that people want. Just have a very well formatted, like, I want these adjustments, and then CA will just implement them. You know, some community, and we already have that. We already have a community-led balance, like, spreadsheet that gets sent to CA every once in a while. So I think that's probably the best way to go about it in terms of time spent to benefits. Yeah, he is playing Lizards. Okay. How are you biased? You played most of the factions? Well, everyone's gonna be biased. But purely, if you just go for play style, right? I don't know how to play a melee rush as Khorne, let's say. So at the very least, I have a blind spot there, which is going to cause some bias. But yeah, there's stuff like that. There's a few other things. Traditionally, a lot of games are not being developed by the top players in the world. Like, I don't think, like, League of Legends, I don't think, you know, the developers are also winning league tournaments, right? Let's say. You know? So I think it can be done without needing the top players there. But you need someone that's, like, really well integrated with the community and the current meta. Actually, I would say Turin would be a very good, you know, source of, like, getting things compiled together. But, you know, there's also the bias of just being a caster and wanting more interesting battles, which might not be the best for the players. Although, personally, in my very biased take, I think more interesting battles is the bigger issue, or is the thing to focus on. Like, if you think about it, we have, like, let's say we have 30 players, right, that are regularly playing domination multiple times a week in tournaments, right? At most, we have like 30 players. Compare that to the tens of thousands of people that will watch Turin daily, right? I think the viewing is pretty important. Not that we should ignore the players. I just think that, you know, making sure that, like, it's not just like a Slanesh fest, that we get some faction diversity, that type of stuff. Anyways, what do I do against Lizardmen? Anyways, it's a harder problem than one might expect, regardless. So yeah, I think I would be able to get like a decent amount of the way there if I was like full-time working on it, but I don't think I would be the perfect solution. Turin would be a great advisor though, but it's a lot of time, right? You're sending your notes that you might spend hours on to CA, and, like, you know, very often you just oh, I did bring the cockatrice last game, whoopsies. But yeah, very often it's like you send it out, you spend hours on it, you have thousands of hours in the game that you've been like watching, you're seeing it live in action, and then like CA, they either read it or they're like, you know what, we can't do it, or it gets lost in bureaucracy, which is just like always a chance to happen. And then you have to like post it all over again later. Yeah. Is balance really that much of an issue in single player? People usually, so balance affects fun. making things more or less balanced, both directions can affect fun positively and negatively. And as game developers, right, that if they're trying to maximize fun that people have in the game, multiplayer balance will actually, you know, be a very complicated issue there, sadly. Very, very, very complicated. All right, yo, how am I supposed to kill the lizards? I'm looking at my options here. Like, he's gonna bring the thunderous one. We die instantly. What am I supposed to do? Anyways, as it stands currently, I think CA clearly don't have the resources to give multiplayer the best that they can give, because there are so many units that are like easily buffable, right? Bloated corpse, just make it slightly cheaper every patch, right? You know, they did fix the seekers, but like you know, there's a lot of units that are just like never seen that I think they could just buff. They're basically freebies, but they don't implement it because probably a variety of issues. Let's see. Okay, against the lizards, I probably want a couple of these. Is this really the build? Is this really the build? It doesn't feel like a great build, but you know what? Sure. If we die, we die. I don't want to hold up the tournament. I don't know why campaign players even care. Yeah, so Maximilian, all right. I think the big thing to realize is that when it comes to a single player game where you're just having fun, right? It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't actually have to be impactful for people to care. Right? If you just look at skins in games, right? People will pay money to get skins in games. They'll pay a lot of money to get skins. Doesn't affect balance at all, right? Why do people care? Because they like it, right? They care because they care. And that is enough grounds for these things to matter. So the fact that people don't like seeing nerfs in the patch notes is reason enough to consider it. As much as many people are like, that's so dumb. It doesn't matter, right? Very important thing when you're working with people, by the way. As someone who works with an audience, right? You know, I can make so many justifications on why it doesn't matter that people care about things. But the whole thing, if I want to get anywhere in this career, I have to accept that people are going to care about things that don't make sense. And it does matter. It does matter one way or another, whether I like it or not. What's this guy? Pit of Shades, enfeebling foe. Damn, this is an expensive frog. Yo, blood DLC. Oh my gosh, your blood DLC is crazy. Blood DLC is crazy. But hey, you know, vote with your wallet, right? Or make some angry posts about it. Didn't they do away with the blood DLC shenanigans eventually? I think they did.
Keep it from the foe.
All right, or did they? I think they did. I don't know. It's been a while since I actually bought a DLC proper. Content creator benefits are crazy. So I have a blood brute behemoth that can't really do anything right now. A little bit of an awkward situation indeed. He's pushed up to shoot at my Ungors, but he's getting shot himself. Very nice. So, interesting. He has captured this point. He has Croxagors. Okay. Interesting. Some Saurus shields. Shooting at Ungors that are shielded probably isn't worth it for him. Okay, and there's some cold ones. Okay. Yeah, I think we can afford to just sit here and tank it out while my guys refuse to shoot. Really don't know why they're not shooting. I feel like they should have Should have gone at least a volley off. Maybe that's just me. As long as he's not shooting at the blood brute, I'm happy. And there's my archers popping off now. He's starting to give up on this point, so I think I will make a play for it. And here he goes, the big charge. So this is on my side of the battlefield. That's a big plus. Let's see here. Do I get the Gorable? Gorable's fine, I guess. He chucks out the bubble. Interesting. Blood Brute's in there. He's gonna be getting in some work. And he actually casts Pit of Shades on the Ungors. Now that's a crazy idea. Let's not get shot up though. Gotta be super careful. I think my cavalry need to shadow his cavalry. Okay. So far it's a decent situation for me, right? It's a pretty decent situation. You know, his cavalry probably can't get in here too well. My archers are able to pop off and more or less fight whatever they want. I have a unit of Ungors in his back line, which means I can probably go for a Lord Snipe. This is probably as good as one could hope for, I'd say. Trading wise, apparently it's very slow going. But overall, I'd say it ain't too bad. Oh, gotta be careful about that Gorable though. But you know, my archers are still piling on. His cavalry will surely die. Left hand side is a little sus, but right hand side is going amazing right now. A little bit of a charge over there. The bull looks like he survived. Gordon got a dip though. And then hopefully we can just crush this right side, just get a whack load of value, and then we're good. It's a little sus with all these units romping around. I wish I probably should have summoned a chariot there, but whatevs. Let's see if we can just keep getting rear charges on his infantry. And then I want to see if I can like bait out his boys here into a bad position. Should be fairly doable. A little bit of a flank charge over here. Actually, let's get into proper position behind these Saurus spears to get them routed. There we go. Archers are still doing great. My single entities are still alive. And as long as they live, we're sitting pretty comfy. Gets a bit of shade, but whiffs it. Gets a solid charge on my Sons of Goros, though. Definitely got to pull them out of that sticky situation. And I think we will just abandon this right side and go purely for this flank position over here. Because as much as I would love to stick around, I think this is going to be much better for me. Because yeah, he has actually broken me here. Things a little bit sus, especially with those bad cavalry engagements. Not the best case scenario. I do have my single entities, however. And they are still doing great. We do dodge another Pit of Shade, so magic-wise... Oh, no. Okay. It's banishment. We dodge a banishment. So magic-wise, we've had some very good dodges, but losing that cavalry was definitely a huge swing for my opponent. Not the most comfy situation ever. At least this will be a fairly good charge. Catching myself a couple skinks. His Lord is definitely a little low, too. That's nice. And I have some archers that can give him some pepper over here. Plus a unit of chariots. If I micro this exquisitely well, it can actually get a lot of work done. Oh, interesting. Lord Snipe Central. Could be huge. Could be pretty big. Is he gonna send in his Ripperdactyls to try and save him? Looks like the answer is not quite yet. He's trying to find a good rear charge on me. Let's micro those chariots, though, first and foremost. They're going to be the most important thing here. It seems like them Ripperdactyls, they're just playing it safe. However, his Lord is most definitely dying. Micro-wise, it's going to be a little bit of a doozy, but yeah, his Lord's taking hella damage. Chariots are doing really well, too. And I think this might be a solid swing play for us. If I can get his lord killed. Big if, I know. Bloodbrute Behemoth is still alive though, and this guy's on foot. Okay, alright, you brought a foot character. Interesting. He's not gonna be able to save the Slann Mage Priest then. Is that a mistake? I feel like that might be a mistake. I feel like the foot Scarvet is like, I've never seen him on foot before. I didn't even know he existed on foot, like, but I'll take it. Okay, and it looks like I barely don't get the Lord Snipe. Unfortunate, but such is life. Of course, he does have a lot of points over me, which is going to always be a little sus. But as long as I army wipe him, it's not too hard to recapture a lot of points. Does route off my dude here, though. Unfortunate. And he does have some Cold Wind Spear Riders. And my Lord's getting way overextended. Whoops-a-daisies. It's a little bit of a spell on my dude. Definitely a scary bout we have going on here. His Lord's probably going to live, but I will be able to capture this point. So, all's well so far, I'd say. I can probably countercharge these Ripperdactyls and finally get him killed. And that's a pretty nice Malkoths I can cast there on his boys. The Bloodbrute is still in very good health too, and my archers are going ham. I'd say it's not the end of the world. Absolutely not. Bloodbrute will get so much work done, and my magic is doing great. Value-wise, we're doing okay. Thank goodness for that capture point, so now I have time to play around with and to farm a little bit of value. Okay, all right. Jeez, my hand is getting tired. I'm playing so much Warhammer this week. All right, there we go. Fairly good fight with the spears. He does get the charge, but with so many archers, that's going to be rather painful. I really want to kill those Cold One Knights. We really just want them dead. And look at that Scarvet. He's just chasing my dude. Dude, that Scarvet, I don't know. I think the Scarvet was a throw. Misplay or not. Misplay or intentional. That Scarvet is getting him negative value right now. And now all I gotta do is just snipe his Lord. I can't believe the Bloodbrute Behemoth cooks so hard this game too. Yo, Bloodbrute Behemoth cooked. And there you go. That's a dead Lord. Glorious. Slann down. Look at the chariots too. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that went great. That went exquisite. GG. So first and foremost, the archers never stopped shooting, which was massive. It was a little sus when I lost my cavalry, but other than that, we did great. Beastmen win. That means we're 4-0. Very nice. And look at that Bloodbrute. 1,400 damage. Yeah, I guess the foot vet is not that expensive, but like, he's just... It's like half a unit of cavalry. It's like almost a full Centaur that you lose out on. Mammals greater than reptiles. The debate is settled. Yeah, even my Ungors did pretty good. Gorbel, I kind of YOLO'd him. That was a misplay. Shouldn't have got him stuck in there. And my cavalry control could have been better. But the chariot on the left flank, when he didn't have cav there, was perfect. Magic-wise, mid-efficiency. Could have been slightly better. And targeted like his Ripperdactyls that were being so annoying. But overall, yeah, nothing to kill the Ungor Raiders. Ungor Raiders are very good. I would say they are like core to the Beastmen roster working at all. Very nice. Definitely a nail biter. Definitely a nail biter. We lost a lot of gold worth of Centaurs, but slightly overextended with this infantry, and then we just started recapturing points super fast. pretty nice. So obviously we are in semifinals then. Pretty good. Thought you had me. For a second it was sus. Oh, thought he had you. Yeah, for a second it was definitely really sus. Just arrived. You are indeed wind farming. I gotta do more wind farming streams. Gotta do like, you know. Yeah, just like I don't know. What am I doing next after this? Kislev wind farming now. What did I say I was gonna do? Oh yeah, Skaven. Skaven wind farming. With Queek that everyone's been asking me to run for the past millennia. Honestly, I kind of like this build. It's really like the Empire Mantide, but worse. But you have way better cav. So the infantry is way worse, the cavalry is way better. But like, look at this, right? You have your tall Boris. You have your you know, your Shadows caster, your vanilla super cheap Shadows caster. And then you bring in a couple skirmish. It's just Empire Mantide. Green skin wind farming, impossible. Play some Norska to summon the DLC. One day, Norska will have a proper roster. 1 year. Eventually, it will be there. Yeah, Conquest is a difficult format to pick up out the get-go. Multiplayer in general is just very difficult. The single player doesn't really teach you how to play multiplayer. First things first, you gotta learn which units are good. Second thing is second, you gotta do everything else. Take good engagements, value trade, know when to attack, know when to deny flanks, get some really good cavalry and chariot micro going. All the things must be learned. Yo, Conquest is great, but for what I've heard, they still use the fruit rules, right? You're still not allowed to, like, spam spells from a distance. I think Conquest on its own doesn't hold up to, like, the Mega Cheese. Maybe I'm incorrect, though. At this point, though, I don't really have that much time to learn another game mode. But yeah, Conquest Vanilla, no other rule sets. Does that work? I'm sure it helps a little bit, but yeah. The 4 army compositions, but not engagement rules. Interesting. Yeah, that's weird considering in game it's already quite close to fruit rules. I feel like it caused a lot of rule breaks, but it worked for many years. I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have Conquest tournaments, but here's the thing. I'm gonna play whatever Turin's hosting. In the end, that's the be all end all. Because it's just the big format, right? Bigger prize pools, more players, all the meat and potatoes. So yeah. For sure. Turin is the... If RTK decides the meta, Turin decides the game mode. Like, I think the community lives or dies on his shoulders. I think there's a few people that might be ready to take his place, but not many. Not many at all, you know? I feel like Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, if Turin if Turin finds a separate game, like if Turin is just like, oh wow, like, you know, this game's popping off, most of his content is like, I don't know, some other game that's like way more popular, I might try following, man. I might. Only if it works, though. I'm sorry, guys. My loyalties. My loyalties. I'm just gonna give it to you straight, though. It's a rough world when you gotta... when you just gotta... make it work for YouTube. Blink if they told you in the partner program that the next game is Total War Warhammer Horus Heresy. Dude, I have dry eyes. I'm constantly blinking. What do you mean? Okay, here's the thing though, right? 40k, that's got to be the next big thing. Most likely me and Turin are going to be moving on to 40k Total War. But who knows? Maybe someone will actually make the next big RTS. Have you played Baldur's Gate? I have, but it never really won my heart over. Also, dude, Turin is like perfect for the multiplayer scene. He has good branding, man. He's just like a chill guy. It's a great time. Or Game of Thrones. Wasn't there another Game of Thrones RTS that was coming out? I don't know if they actually have any like gameplay, but like it's been announced, right? That there's like a Game of Thrones thingamajig. I think I saw Turin talking about it. It's not Total War. But who knows? Maybe they'll sell the IP to the Total War dudes. It'd be great. It had a trailer. There are screenshots on the Steam page. Of the trailer though, right? Not of actual gameplay. Like, have we seen UI yet? Do we even know what type of game this is? Total War Star Wars. Be interesting. You know, it's not like you can just grab any IP and turn it into a Total War game, right? It's a lot of bureaucracy and negotiating. No idea there's a Game of Thrones game coming. Feels a little too late. Well, games take a long time to develop, right? It could have been under development during the, you know, the peak of Game of Thrones. That's like when it was pitched. And then the last few seasons came out, but they're still putting out like other Game of Thrones stuff into the world. So even though it's not the golden age of Game of Thrones, I still think people will be like, oh yeah, I remember Game of Thrones. And then they'll probably get it. We need a Total War Stone Age. Okay, we need to go as far back as possible. Okay, I need a Total War Fish Edition. All right. Just, you know, you get to play as a squid. Total War Ants. Give me Total War Ant colonies. Microbial Total War. Actually, that would be the most interesting. Totally not realistic, but like, come on, they're not realistic anymore. Total War Jurassic Park. Spore. You know what? Just give me another Spore game. Total Spore. Honestly, the Spore combat, you know, they really could use a Total War overlay on it, right? Norska only Total War. Big Bang. There you go. Yeah. I think you can technically go a little further back, but not by much. Yo, are they gonna... Okay, they're finally done. Let's take a look at the top four. Sipa with 4 wins. Myself with 4 wins. Serika with 3 10 opponent points. And Sampo, Son of Heaven, barely didn't make it. Such is life. Total War Singularity. What are we looking at? I have a match against Sampo. Terrifying. If I can win this, we're set, right? At Sampo versus me. At Serika versus at Sipa. All right. Yo, yo. Hell yeah. So we're up against Sampo. Very, very strong player. They are in the grand finals. So they're going to have to go through Alec Rawl, probably Egg Special, then probably Charix. And then probably me or like Oishikun, I would say. Or maybe Tim the Wilder. If they can do that, then they win. So let's see if we can take them out with Beastmen today. Map is Xar's Cursed Oasis. Alrighty. Here we go. Here we go. Oh boy. Is it going to be a Blood for the Blood God DLC? I think they're not doing Blood DLCs anymore. Or, I don't know. I really haven't kept up with the news. You're just going to have to look it up. So, Sampo... Oh, okay. Sampo just didn't want to play. Okay. So, that means we're facing the next one down. That's anticlimactic. So what? That's Son of Heaven then? So you are up next. Verse me. Okay, so we're up against Son of Heaven. All right. So I gotta manage the tournament. Yo, Elden Ring Total War? That would be an insane mashup of IPs. I don't think Elden Ring is like selling their IP around though, but like, man, what a thought. What a thought that would be. Okay, so me versus Sampo. It's going to be me versus Son of Heaven again. So it's just Beastmen versus Lizardmen. ×2. Sure, why not? Let's send them the code. Dung Eater, this is Total War. Yo, what a name. I can't believe they gave him that name. I think it's kind of lost in translation, right? Because he's eating like... I think in Japanese it's supposed to be a little bit more symbolic. But I think the translation did him dirty. All right. So Cursed Oasis. It's reverse Lizardmen. All right. What am I doing here today? Is it gonna go Monster Mash or what? You know, I could just not go the... Okay, Bloodroot Behemoth for terror routing is kind of important, though. But what if I don't go for the Bloodroot? What if I go with, like, an Incarnate Elemental of Beasts? It has way less melee defense. It is cheaper. No anti-large. I think the anti-large is really important for the incarnate. It does have a mini mortis engine. But it's overall not that exciting, so probably not. Oh yeah, I gotta remember to take harpies versus Lizardmen. They can rock drop my Ungors, and that would be bad. We would not want that. It would be terrible. Let's see, Lord-wise, what options do I have? I like the Melkoths for the cavalry. It's basically free killings on the cavalry corps. But I have to be ready for a single entity blob. It could always show up and ruin my day. What should I focus on with Dark Elves and Domination? Yeah, you should try Scourge Runner Chariots and Medusa. Pepe, you should yeah. That's your bread and butter as a Dark Elves. After that, you start with a bunch of cheap infantry, bleak swords, and dread spears. And then you spam Cold One Knights and Dark Riders as your reserve. That's like your baseline Dark Elf playstyle. Most of the time, you're not really gonna diverge from that. Okay, so skirmishers get beat by the archers. We know that. But what else? I need something to kill off the big monsters. Are spears gonna do? Do I start with another big monster like before? Okay, this can't be the worst option ever. Sure, and then one of those. We're gonna need something to kill monsters. The question is, how overkill do we need to be? In a world where you have axe throwers, probably you don't need to be that overkill. Okay, yeah, this is okay. Sure, why not? Look, Beastmen is just a good faction though, right? You can't go wrong with Beastmen Mantide. You could do the Danacan build, go for Witch Elves. Witch Elves if you want to have fun. Witch Elves if you want to have a good time. But otherwise, no, don't go for Witch Elves. They are so easily countered by a lot of things, and if you don't know what you're doing, you are asking for trouble. Making it double. What are we doing? I am going to go for a quick triple cap and then reposition to see what we're looking at. I think it's basically impossible for the Lizardmen to rush down my army with a bunch of Vanguard units, so I shouldn't have to worry about it too much. Malagor Flock of Doom is just good. So I'm going to use that to hopefully punish all of his blobs, and then we're fine. Hit up his cavalry. I don't really need anything else on him. He has his leadership reduction and buff and a little bit of extra magic. So actually mildly decked out. Wow, okay, yeah, no Vanguard. 10 units. 4 or 5. He has 2 Vanguards at most. He has Nikai and a Skink Oracle. Unfortunately for him, it's just really the Butchers of Kalkengard he can shoot at. So this is already a fairly good situation for us Beastie Boys. Skink Oracle has limited ammunition. If I play it safe, there's no way he's ever gonna get anything done. He can't even really cycle charge my spears and archer core because we have so many. They would simply be a little too painful to just tank it up. There we go. Points again captured. Oh, he actually stalled it a little bit. There you go. We can get a little bit of a free pot shot on his face. The guy he's coming on in. Let's rush his javelins with the spears. I don't want to get spear chucked. He does have skirmishers again. Makes sense. If I can occupy his spears, we're good though. Butchers of Kalkengard have a great line of sight on the Kai too right now. That's gonna be a big bonus. And now we bring in the Annihilators of Single Entities. They should do great. Now it's just a matter of not over chasing and making sure we take good infantry engagements. I can defend the flank now with those guys. Skink Oracle is chilling, but getting shot to bits. Skirmishers, I might be able to waste some of their ammunition with Malagor. And okay, he's starting out with Feral Cold Ones. Not the spookiest summon I've ever seen. And with a second Doom Bowl, this guy is gonna just die, isn't he? I don't really think he can do that much in this particular situation. Because the Doom Bowls are just gonna have their way with them, right? As far as I can tell, that's exactly what will be happening. Nikai even is getting kind of beat up. It's a great Flock of Doom. Hits many units. More Feral Cold Ones, not a big deal. And yeah, that Skink Oracle's just getting massacred. These Ungors are gonna have to disengage though. But I think our single entity engagements are simply going too well. I still have to, you know, I still gotta stay in the game though. Gotta stay locked in. Make no misplays. Ugh. Hotkeys. There we go. Alright, let's just finish off Nikai first and foremost. And then I gotta keep these archers alive. As with every battle, you must keep your archers alive so that they can farm as much value as humanly possible. Nikai is still getting brutalized, and his cavalry are just kind of chilling there. Well, if he doesn't notice the spears charging them, that'd be pretty good. Archers ready to pile on into these Saurus. It's another pretty good Flock of Doom position. It's not that great. I'll save my magic. And instead, use these Centaurs to just clean up shop. It's going to be very rough for him to deal with this. Now, you see these Feral Cold Ones coming on in? Gonna see if I can bait them into a big old Flock of Doom. Nikai gets routed too. So if they decide to chase, now I get an ultra value Flock of Doom here. And that would be amazing. He's using Saurus Spears over there to try and salvage the situation. But they're so slow, they're never actually going to contribute to that point. And that's like an 800 gold loss on the end of my opponent, which is going to be quite painful. Doom Bowls over there are cooking. Butchers of Kalkengard are terrorizing. I think we got this one in the bag unless my opponent makes some pretty vicious plays here. But losing the Kai is very, very brutal. I guess this mosh pit could potentially go pretty bad. I did let Nikai rally too, which is most unfortunate. So as per usual, we're going to make sure that we keep playing our heart out in these battles. I gotta make sure that we play it smart. Thankfully, I do still have some blocks of doom. He's doing a pretty good job catching up my archers, though. Technically, if he catches out all my archers, we're pretty screwed. So let's go ahead and start saving them, why don't we? Bring in the cav, retreat with the archers, countercharge those Feral Cold Ones, because if there's one way my opponent's gonna come back, it's gonna be through that. And we simply cannot afford to let that happen. I can't believe the Saurus Spears are actually doing not that great into Ungors. Rather surprising indeed. Value trading still great though. Oh, Nakai healed. Ah, I see. Got a little bit of healing. Dude, these Doom Bulls though, I mean Gore Bulls, absolute insanity when it comes to the value they get against single entities. Definitely one of the better units on the Beastmen roster. And this time around, I have been keeping my cavalry safe. Great Flock of Doom. Gonna be hitting all those guys. And now with Nakai gone, now life is super chill. There you go. Big surround on his little general over there. Those are Cold One Spear Riders though, so perfect time to summon in the Sons of Goros. We're gonna bait them out, not take a silly engagement. Whoa, almost took a silly engagement. Almost took a mildly silly engagement. We're still good though. And with the spears collapsing in on them, yeah, there's nothing you can do. And that's gonna be the win for us. Beastmen, they are a good faction. Who would have guessed? It's Beastmen versus Lizardmen. Whew. And I think that came down mostly to the archers doing so well. Pretty good value on all of them. Paid for themselves, still had a lot of HP and everything. Yeah, value difference doesn't really count Flock of... It sometimes counts Flock of Doom, so... It is a little hard to tell. Double Gore Bowl. Paid for themselves, still almost full HP. Yeah, Beastmen can really use more content. You know, with that Slaanesh DLC coming on up, we'll have Slong Gores. They're going to be like 70 speed infantry. Yeah, these guys are so hard to deal with. Anyways, I think we're up against Sipa now, based on this message that he just sent. Oh boy. So Sipa is playing High Elves. Interesting. We're on Bleak Spire Labor Camp, which is a more awkward match for the High Elves. Okay. Slaanesh better not get good range units this DLC. God, that would be silly. I'm sure they'll nerf their other units first, though. Yeah, finals. We are in the finals. 5 wins. We gotta test our mights. Unfortunately, last time I memed against Charx's High Elves. He played kind of a main tide with a lot of nets. That was his playstyle last time. So a bunch of archers, and it was just super annoying. I think we have a play style that should be able to get through that at least. So this shouldn't be too bad. It's either that or he goes for like the million dragon build. Dragon single entity squad. Double Goreable in reserve though is like you're guaranteed gonna be pretty safe for single entities. Slaanesh gets access to corrupted Way Watchers. Ah yeah. Suddenly give Slaanesh Way Watchers the best kite faction in the game. There's like a bunch of arguments in chat that went nowhere, but everyone stayed chill. Hey, good to hear, good to hear. As long as it stays civil, all the discussion is welcome. Happy, very happy with you guys. Not Slongors, but Centaurs of Slaanesh. Ooh. We already got Tzeentch Centaurs. Centaurs of Slaanesh? Pretty spooky. Slaanesh with L cannons? Oh boy. All right, now I do have to deal with Rangers. Rangers can be pretty annoying. The High Elf Cavalry Corps, like Silver Helms, will actually fight pretty decently into Centaurs. So there be that to consider. Hmm. 50 speed hell cannon. That would be hilarious. I'd love it. All right. This build. God, it's so expected though, you know? It's so expected. He's gonna know that I'm bringing something like this. Instant hard counter. Cry myself a river type situation. Okay, like this is not bad to have. And then what? Magic wise, he could have a tech list. He can have a lot of cavalry. Magic wise, he could even try to snipe my lord. Could do Lore of Death. If he goes for Eltharion, Lore of Death is not bad versus Eltharion. But then if he doesn't go for Eltharion and he goes for Techless, and it's a little more sus. So like we're really picking what we think we can make work here. Okay, I think this is fine though. Plus a little bit of this. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then in reserve, you're gonna need something that can deal with dragons. A little bit of this business. Wow, and that's it. I am out of money. Wow. Wow, just like that. Oh, Nelly. I feel like we're gonna die. This is really it? This is all I got? Alright, fingers crossed, see, but don't annihilate me. Oh, jeez. Yeah, he's gonna... There's a good chance he goes for a single entity mega kill strategy. And I don't know if I can deal with it for sure or not. I did bring double Gorable in reserve. Okay, and he did go for a more normal build. Okay, that's good. Thank goodness. I really did not know if we'd make it or not. So here's the rough idea. Quick capture on this point. He shouldn't have a lot of Vanguard shenanigans. Bestigors and Pestigors, high armor, high missile resist. They should be pretty difficult to deal with. If you did go for White Lions, these guys will crush him. If you went for Rangers, these guys will crush him. Nice and simple, like. No archers this time around. Because I think I might have to rush him if he's playing High Elves. So that's the plan. We're just going to march forwards and see what we can get done. Hopefully we can get him into an awkward position where I get some solid flanks. We got Butchers of Kalkengard, some Gorables, and then the standard Centaur Corps. Backline dives are going to be difficult though. Like it really depends on how well my front line is able to actually take this fight. He has a Lothern Seaguard max. Okay, buddy. My dude. So in theory, he's just dead, right? In theory, he's just dead. Like this should be the easiest game of my life. Who knows though? Who knows? Maybe he has some crazy shenanigans. But a Lothern Seaguard max should not be able to handle this. Gets a good charge on my Ungors though. Okay, and there's his lord. Okay. So we're just gonna, yeah, put the pressure on. Gets a burning head down the pipe. Pretty good damage overall, but it's gonna be on cooldown now. And with us just kind of rushing on in, time is of the essence for my dear opponent. Pestigores, you go here. Pestigores, you're dealing with the other dudes. We're going to get a pretty solid flank. And we're just gonna go for the deep dive. It's getting a lot of focus fire on this end, but I think my guys will probably be able to make it. There's one Lothern Seaguard tied down. Here comes my lord. He's kind of stuck in the trees too, which is pretty rough. And that charge providing that little bit of extra leadership. Looking pretty nice. We know Lothern Seaguard do not have that much HP, so I think we'll be okay. Here comes the Cav. Yo, this is a crazy build. Maybe he thought I was just gonna try and Cav max him. But this is going to get very sus very quickly. Okay, there you go. We do have the triple cap. Very, very nice indeed. There's Buna number 1. Getting an early advantage here is very important for battles like this, because the fewer archers he has, the easier it is to take out his archers, right? So we just wanna mitigate. We just want to mitigate them as much as humanly possible. Good chase on the Lothern Seaguard. Big old dive in with these Reavers, but they are simply Reavers. And he has like one Lothern Seaguard that can actually shoot right now. Maybe 2. Value-wise, we're doing pretty well, I'd say. Jeez, yeah, they're just getting run down to the back of the map. Does get a couple of Rangers there to save them, but like the Rangers can't help over here now, right? They're a little too far away. A little Chariot Lord's doing great too. Glorious. Lothern Seaguard still on the run. They are still on the run. And I have yet another Centaur in here. Gets a bouncing burning head though. Look at that tech. He just bounced it. Unfortunately for him though, it shall not be enough, as the rest of his Lothern Seaguard are now occupied in melee or busy one way or the other. Gets another Ranger summon, but that's not going to do too much. Those are just Reavers. We don't fear a couple Reavers. They're totally fine. I think my Chariot control could have been better this game, though. I think that would have, if one thing would have sealed the deal, it would have been that. Pretty good charge on those Seaguard, though I think that's still a down trade for those Centaurs. But as long as my lord doesn't die, I think we're fine. He is trying to focus fire him, though. A little bit of a juke. Looking pretty nice. And I think we do summon the Butchers of Kalkengard now, just to deal with like a Fireborn or something that might pop up. I think Fireborn are like the one unit that might be able to get some very annoying work in, and I don't want them to just mulch me. Butchers of Kalkengard are also just kind of good versus everything, so we'll stick with that. Looking back, my lord is doing fine. He's running out of infantry to chase down. Oh, geez, burning head. No, can't really dodge that. I guess we're committing. But yeah, opponent has 0 tickets. If I had to hazard a prediction, I think we are ahead in this match. Summons in skirmishers too. Man, what a mad lad. Dude, this is a crazy build. I like this skew build though, because this is probably a really good matchup for Beastmen in general, right? So just saying like, you know what, Anticity likes Cav Max, I should just try and hard counter it, is genuinely a legitimately good strategy. It just so happened that he walked into like try hard Anticity. And now he has to deal with just the Mantide. By the way, Mantide is actually the safest build you can bring. I still have to make sure I don't throw though, but it'll be very hard for him to resecure points. But yeah, Mantide is an incredibly safe playstyle. Do I have any Cav left here? 1. Should be fine. I'm surprised that these Reaver Archers actually beat my Centaurs with just a little bit of Lothern Seaguard support. Surprising indeed. 4D chess metagame. I wouldn't go that far. I think, well, I don't know. I don't know what was going through his head. This was definitely a really weird build. Like, you don't see people go for these types of builds. Unless they're against me. Let's see. Oh, yeah. If I just spam spears and normal infantry now, there's no way he recaptures these points. What's that? Reavers. Not a big deal. Best of Gores. Being the best. Let's see if we can make it where he just doesn't capture any points. Stretch goal time. Butchers of Kalkengard. Let's not overextend with them. Playing it smart. Smart intensity. There we go. What's his lord doing? She's gonna try and chase me down or something. Yeah, let's not get my lord sniped. That's grounds for losing instantly. We don't want that. And I'm just gonna bring in these guys because they're still basically Centaurs. And then desummon these guys so I can bring in more. Fortunately, his lord lives. I'd Spirit Leech her, but she's not low on HP in the slightest, so it's not really very worth, is it? In terms of my magic expenditure. He is slowly pulling back value-wise too, but I'm still pretty sure we got this. Lots of armor-piercing infantry means that his cavalry can't really make it there. And is his lord gonna get caught? Oh, dang, look at the micro. She lives. But my lord lives too. To Buna another day. It's a good thing I didn't use the Forbidden Rod. Otherwise, he might have actually just died there. That would have been very embarrassing. Oh, almost gets me with the Burning Head while I'm not looking. Spicy player, isn't he? Will it be a blowout? Yeah, is it going to be a zero tickets for my opponent? I think it might be. The build that I brought just ended up being such a hard counter. Also, dang, Butchers, man. Silver shields, 45 armor, so good. Let's see, what do I need now? Let's not bring in archers, because the most likely thing to kill us is cav spam. GG, well played. He sent me the message. I'm not calling the game early, even though it's definitely over for him. He did send me a message in Discord. All right. Just gotta close it out. I think there's nothing you can do. It's a build to hard counter cav. Yeah, 100%. If I had a million Centaurs, he'd be able to just push up, take a lot of space, and I'd be stuck summoning in infantry for the next forever. In the meantime, he'd be able to bring in a lot more cavalry. And then I would not be able to rush him down. The only reason we could push so hard was because we smelled the weakness early on. Right, he only had one cavalry to start, and he was stuck summoning in cav, so there's no way he could have actually defended a big push. And you can tell because all my infantry got... Yeah, they all got their values worth, except for like a couple of them. Bestigors with the 1300 and 1400, almost 1500. Jeez, man. What's the option called in the little pop-up interface? I can't find it to keep units highlighted. If you go to my Discord, the Warhammer 3 channel, and go to pins, you can see my settings to keep units highlighted. You open it up by going into a battle and holding spacebar. Not too much value on the Burning Head, despite Big Fat Rush. Man, those poor Lothern Seaguard. You know, they still got a lot of value. Surprisingly sturdy. But he did have to give up all the points. Still though, they did actually get a pretty decent amount of value. I'm surprised. Kind of terrifying. But that's it for us. You feel good now? Beating on those poor elves? That we do. I think we're ready for the tournament tomorrow. New to the tournament scene, but is this the #1 player in the world? I did win the last tournament that was the biggest tournament in the scene. Am I currently going to be able to win the upcoming tournament tomorrow that Turin is hosting? We do not know yet, but if we do, I think it is fairly safe to say that I am maybe the best player in the world, because we're going up against some very big names tomorrow. But until then, we will have to see. Anyways, I'll be streaming same time as usual tomorrow for the grand finals. I'm gonna make sure I have a lot of food, a good night of rest. We're gonna stream it, and I have one thing for you guys. You have to make sure I don't throw the game. Keep me honest, all right? Tomorrow is humble intensity all the way until we win the tournament. Everyone will be treated with the utmost respect. Doesn't matter what faction they're playing. We're gonna pretend that they know exactly what they're doing, and it's going to be spooky, and I have to make sure that we play it as hard as humanly possible. Stocked up on the milk. Yeah, we got everything. Yeah, we're defending the world champion title. Yeah, it's 1 p.m. EST tomorrow. 1 p.m. EST, gonna be streamed on Twitch and YouTube, on my stream and Turin's stream. We are in the top 8 right now. We progressed up the top 16. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. 1,000 squats if I lose. Yo, I'm terrified. Distract you in chat, got it. Nah, meme builds. I don't care how much you donate, unless you're donating more than the prize pool of the tournament. All right, we're not gonna meme. We're not gonna meme. All right. Redeem the stretch. Thank you. Whew. Whew, man, I'm terrified. Here's the thing, though. When I'm locked in, we can compete with Charix, but I have to be so locked in. All right. My first opponent tomorrow is gonna be Oishi-kun, which was the previous #1 on ladder in a couple seasons ago, and then after that, Tim the Wilder, second place champion, 24/7, and then after that, probably Charix. Oh god, those are some big names, some ginormous names. Oh man, I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. EST. No Slaughter Beast. No Slaughter Beast. Who's in top 4? I actually don't know yet. TBD.